This micro size amp can power your subwoofers and it's under $50? We gotta check this thing out. I was recently put onto this deal by Mo from Canada, who always finds excellent deals. Found this amp for around $55 at the time. Prices dropped, so I decided let's get one in, take a closer look, and see what it's all about. The Plinius, or Plinius, however you say it, is the brand. This is a Chinese knockoff from somebody who left a comment. This is a New Zealand company, supposedly, and this is not the New Zealand version. So maybe the name was stolen. I don't know. But we'll get to the specs and stuff in a minute. But here you can see it comes with the owner's manual. Comes with the remote base cable. That's right. Telephone style remote base cable. Also a remote base knob. Very simple. It is metal encased, but it just has a very small potentiometer and does have the telephone style connection there on the back and some mounting tabs on the side. Not a whole lot going on. No power LEDs. Nothing. Here is the amp though. Look how small it is. It literally fits in the palm of my hand. As far as inputs and outputs go, you can see the level adjustment there. Also a high level input at the bottom left. We also have RCA inputs using the standard style connectors. For an amp this cheap though, we kind of expect that. The remote base cable connection, as well as a high pass filter, 20 Hz to 20 kHz. Low pass filter, 20 kHz down to 35 Hz. Which will make you say, right off the beginning, this is a full range amplifier, which is also a monoblock, which those two usually don't go hand in hand. Anyway, on the opposite side, we do have all the connections for the ground, remote 12 volt, and speakers. These all accept 8 gauge wire. We also have a power and protect LED on the far right, and that's about it. Not a whole lot going on here, but again, this amp is under $50. It is tiny. It's very compelling for somebody who's on a budget and just needs a really small amp they want to hide, somewhere maybe under their seat or something. But speaking of small, the dimensions, 6.3 inches, that's from the long part of the connections, by 3.3 inches by 1.4 inches. As for specs, it is a Class D monoblock. It says it's 2 ohm stable, has 12 dB per octave low pass and high pass filters, 4-way protection circuit, wired remote control. As far as ratings, it's only rated at 4 ohms and 2 ohms. 4 ohms, 300 watts, 2 ohms, 450 watts. Again, at the time of the video, this amp is $46 free shipping if you have Prime, so it's really a no-brainer to try it out. And that's what I decided to do. So we got it hooked up here with 8 gauge power wire, and then we powered it up. You can see it comes on pretty much instantly. And we decided to hook up to the amp dyno so we can do some runs here, find out how much power this amp puts out. Here on the left, you'll see power output in watts. In the middle of the ohm load, on the right, the voltage of the dyno. Of course, we're also going to have the clamp meter so that we can calculate the amp's efficiency.
This here's my favorite part.
First up, we're going to try the 4 ohm test. The amp is rated 300 watts at 14.4 volts. Certified test first takes us up to 1% distortion, and we get, 184 watts at 14.46. Oh, that's a big fail. A little bit more than half the rated power. Uncertified up to clipping. Can we get any better? Just a little bit. 188 at 14.46. Then we'll reset it here for the dynamic test. Can we get over 188? Can we get 300? No way. 173. 174 at 14.44. But let's check that efficiency, see how it does certified, and very good. 94%. That's what I'm talking about. Although the efficiency was very good, we're a little concerned here with the ratings. 2 ohms is rated 450 watts, and based on the 4 ohm test, I don't think we're going to get anywhere near that. So let's try certified at 2 ohms, and we get 273 watts.
Where's the beef? Hey, where's the beef? I don't think there's anybody back there.
So again, about half, a little bit more than half of the rated power. Not sure what's going on and who rated this, but let's try it uncertified up to clipping. Can we get 300? Nope. Getting close though. 289 at 14.32. What about dynamically? Can we possibly get 300 watts dynamic? Yes, we can. Over 300. Here's 306. 14.38. What about that efficiency at 2 ohms? It dropped significantly down to 74% is what I measured. So after the 2 ohm test, it made me think maybe they got this thing rated wrong. Maybe it's 2 ohms and 1 ohm rated. So it's not rated for 1 ohm, but we're going to try it. See if we get anywhere near that 450 watts that's rated at 2 ohms. And we get 390 at 14.46. It does not pop the internal fuse, which is 35 amps. We'll show that later. Uncertified up to clipping, 40 hertz. Can we get that 450? Not too far off, 433 at 14.38. Now dynamically, check this out. We easily get the 450, almost 500. Right at it. Can we get it? 498. Oh, there we go. 501 at 14.44. But the efficiency struggles at 1 ohm, 64%. But again, it ran with no issues at 1 ohm. Here are the results, all the tests you just saw. And again, if you shift everything to 2 ohms and 1 ohm, it's not too far off from the ratings. So I don't know what to think overall, but let's hook it up to a subwoofer, 6.5 inch Savard, see how it sounds. Understand this is a 6.5 inch subwoofer. This amp pushed it really well and actually ran the amp for quite a long time, over an hour with several different songs, and we're going to check the thermals here in a second. The sub was wired at 1 ohm. We were rising a little bit, of course, as you normally would, but we got nothing over 90 degrees. In fact, mid 80s is all I saw here from the amplifier. And again, it was running for at least an hour, and I was not running it easy. I was running it hard. Now let's get out the old Allen key here and take it apart and find out what's inside. As you can see, we did have to take screws out on both ends of the amp, as well as the two that were holding down the transistors there on the side. And here is this mini, tiny amplifier board and all the separate components here, the heatsink, the board, and the 2 end plates. And there, based on the RCA jacks, you can see how small it is. It is extremely tiny. And here's that 35 amp fuse, which we did not blow, even pulling over 50 amps, but again, it's a very short period. 25 volt 1000 microfarad there for the power supply, 50 volt 470 microfarad apparently for the outputs. And there's the rest of the amp again. It's hard to portray just how tiny this amp is, but here you can see it in the palm of my hand. It is very small. But let's talk about the pros and cons. The pros up first: small footprint. It is dirt cheap. Low pass and high pass crossovers. It has a remote bass connection and the remote bass knob. It is full range capable. I don't know why you'd use this full range, but I guess you could if you wanted to. Low and high level inputs, and it bumped 6.5 inch sub, as you saw by the flex. Things that could be better. Is it rated incorrectly? I think maybe. There's no features on the bass remote. It doesn't even have a power LED. Why do they do it full range? Again, I don't know. There's a 35 amp fuse. You have to get into it. You have to take the amp apart. Is it too cheap? Well, that's for you to decide. And this thing is extremely tiny, extremely cheap. It is not waterproof though, so make sure you keep it dry. It is the Plinius PHF 450D. I'll leave it as well as other related amps in the video description. Thanks as always for watching. Until next time, Big D, I'm out of here.